My sister texted me the other day, and she goes, "What's a good rate if someone wanted to pay to get on my TikTok?" She goes, "I have 700,000 followers." And she goes, like 50 or something? And I go, 50K, question mark? like just to fuck with her. And she goes, no, dumb fuck, $50. And I go, probably like $500 to $1,000 is how much you should be charging. She goes, LMAO, they sent me clothes and want me to show clothes. They asked for a rate. What should I say? She doesn't believe me. Right. She still thinks she should be charging $50. Yeah. And I go, start at $800. She goes, really? You don't think they're going to be like, what the fuck? Okay, whatever. If I look dumb, I'm blaming it on you. And then I had Esther reach out to Natalie because she still didn't believe me. And Esther goes, they're sending me up to 7 different clothing items. Do I still ask for money? And Natalie goes, $2,000. and Esther goes, holy shit, just for one post? Is that like normal? And Natalie goes, clothes don't matter. It's like free for the brand. And then Esther's like, oh my God, okay, so $2K? I thought $50 was too much. And then Natalie goes, it's crazy because all these kids are like that and these brands get free press. And I texted, I said, and I go to Natalie, I go, we should manage them. I was like, imagine if we managed my sister and we kept $1,900 out of the $2,000 that she made and we just paid her $100 and she'd still think like she was getting an amazing deal. We'd make so much money. So yeah. Yeah, and then we told her.
Did she get it?
No, she didn't get it. She's like, they left me on red, which is normal because like I wasn't expecting like the brand was directly talking to her, so I don't think the brand was expecting her to be like so like knowledgeable about how much she should be getting paid. And a lot of brands don't have that kind of money, but that is her actual rate. She should be charging at least $1,000 per post at her following, and it's just really funny. And the other day she asked me, she got a deal for a TikTok where. It's the amount of views she gets is how much she gets paid. Yeah. So if she gets over 1 million views or 1 million likes or whatever, she gets $7,000. So she asked me to be a part of it. Oh wow! And I don't know what to say. Like I know she's like my family, but I also like it's.
They've got to get paid too.
No, but like I don't know. Like I don't want brands to feel like they can like go through my sister to get me.
This is like a random side story, but there was a brand, their campaign briefs got leaked, and it's a brand that is like notorious for taking advantage of influencers and celebrities and all this. They just don't pay appropriately. And for somebody, they had 1 million followers on YouTube and 1 million followers on Instagram. And this brand wanted 7 in-feed Instagram photos,
Jesus Christ.
4 story swipe ups, and 5 YouTube videos.
All right, so let's just see how much this person should actually be getting paid. So they have 1 million followers on Instagram, 1 million followers on YouTube. Yep. Let's say their engagement's pretty good, which would be like 20%. So that would give them 200,000 views on YouTube and like 200,000 likes on Instagram, which is pretty fucking good for somebody that has 1 million followers. Yeah. That's like pretty unheard of.
It's really good.
They should be getting paid around $15K a YouTube video.
Yep.
Multiply that by 5 because there's 5 YouTube videos, so we're at $75K, and then $2,000 per story. And they wanted how many stories?
4 stories.
So we're at $8K.
Yep.
So now we're at $83,000. And then per Instagram post, if they get this is like a pretty conservative number, they should get at least $5,000 per post.
Right.
At least. And there's how many of them?
7.
So it's another 35.
Right.
So for that campaign, that person should be getting paid at least $118,000.
Yeah.
Okay. How?
Do we want to take guesses on how much this person was offered?
No, I don't want to guess, but I'm curious. So who's the brand?
It's a fashion brand.
Okay, it's a big fashion brand, and you're saying that they got caught not paying influencers enough.
Right.
So we put the estimate at 118. What did you say? What is the actual?
$8,000.
Wow. $8,000?
Yeah.
For all those videos?
Yeah.
For all those Instagram posts?
So here's what I'll say about
that's fucking ridiculous.
That's crazy that, someone would be dumb to take that, but at the same time,
I completely agree.
There's that market is so oversaturated. There are so many girls who have followings that want to get paid, and it's like, you don't want to do it with Natalie? Great. I'll go do it with Ella.
Well, that was like a big argument in the comments and threads that I was reading about it.
It's like so many people have 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, right? Isn't that like 30,000 creators have like 1 million followers on like TikTok
Probably.
alone? I don't even know the number, but like it's fucking bizarre.
And other people that aren't
I made that 30,000 number up completely. I was just trying to say a lot. It's so off. But.
And other people that aren't in the industry and understanding of what rates are and whatnot, people were like, $8,000, that's like 3 months of my rent. People were freaking out. They're like,
people were saying that's a lot.
Yeah, some people, it was half and half. It was split.
One of the funniest things to me was I was in Chicago and I was there on behalf of Bumble, and I was talking to these two girls, and they're like, why are you here? I was there for Lollapalooza, and I was like, well, I'm here. I'm doing something for Bumble, and they're like, oh, so you're like, I do Bumble ambassadors deals, and they're like, we're Bumble ambassador at our college, and I was like, yeah, it's kind of like that, and they're like, so you pay to come all the way over here just to work with Bumble? And I'm like, no, they're paying me to be here.
Yeah.
And they couldn't wrap their head around that Bumble was paying me to show up. Like they didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Guys, my high school teacher Killinger's here. I swear to God, we've recorded these on different days. It just seems like he lives at my house. But we're talking about how much influencers get paid.
It's insane.
Well, I think
I mean it's market value, like it's fair, but it's to the outside world.
I think it's very funny because you have a really interesting perspective because you're very much in the outside world. When did you?
Wow, thanks for. I think I've got a little micro influence going on.
Yeah,
you have
a good following on Twitter, very strong fan base, 100 likes per tweet. I see it. But when did you? I'm very open about how much I get paid. So when did you? No, not okay. Like I think I've told you like a rate.
Oh yeah, no. With me, I thought you meant on the podcast that you were open about it.
Oh, I don't know. So I'll talk about it whenever. But when was there like when did you realize that there was money in social media? Because I remember when I was first moving out here, people could not wrap their head around the fact that you could make money off social media. Right. They were like, "What the like?" At first, were you confused?
Yeah, but I think I got it early on because even when you came to talk to me about like how you had already moved out here, but you talked to me about like, should I stay back here? My parents want me to go back to college and things like that. Like while we were having that conversation, which I normally tell people in a sense of like, oh yeah, I told him like, you stay in LA, young man, and you'll, climb to the top, whatever. But like, and make it seem like I had a lot to do with your success, which is not the case because while we had that conversation, you got a phone call from either Jack or somebody who was hooking you up with deals. And like while we were talking, we had a phone call. It was like, oh, so-and-so is going to pay you $5,000 for drinking their brand of bottled water in one of your like vines or something. Then I was like, and that was insane to me. And that's nothing compared to what you get paid now. But at the time I was like, holy shit. Like, yeah, man, go to fucking LA. Are you out of your mind? Like if people are going to give you $5,000 for 5 minutes of work, then don't go to school.
Here's another interesting question. Killinger just walked in, so he missed our conversation in the past. I'm going to give you numbers from a smaller influencer, and you tell me how much you think they should be deserved to pay, how much they should be paid for all this, okay?
Okay.
So this influencer has 1 million followers on Instagram and 1 million followers on YouTube. They have to post 7 in-feed posts on Instagram, like 7 in-feed posts, and 4 stories and 5 YouTube videos. How much should they get paid for that?
5 YouTube videos and and all that shit on Instagram.
Yeah, 7 Instagram posts. It's like a bigger deal. How much?
I mean, that sounds like it's in the like 100,000 or more.
Oh yeah, pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. Hey.
Wow. Well done. That's fucking crazy that you got that. Yeah, there was like this article that leaked basically, and was saying that like this fashion brand was not paying their influencers a lot, and for that they were paying people $8,000.
That's nuts. If you've got 1 million, how are you not finding better deals?
Well, the argument is there's a lot of people that have 1 million. There's a lot of people that have 1 million followers.
Sure.
It's not the craziest anymore because it's so saturated. But yeah, I mean, I still think it's fucking crazy. I think you're a little bit more like aware of like how much people make on social media, but like, have you ever had conversations with people that don't understand it at all?
Yeah,
that's like the most entertaining thing to me.
It really is, especially like, so I don't know some of the numbers you've been making on some recent things, but like one of those companies that measures that stuff, I'm sure you guys saw, like it said that your worth is like 500,000 per Instagram post or something.
Yeah,
or like Market Watch.
Completely wrong though. That's like way too low. No. That's way too high. Like for an Instagram post, no fucking way am I getting 500.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay. So I mean, so that's like, I assumed that was off since it wasn't like any official thing. It was like their market estimate. But still, I tell people that number in terms of like, with a caveat of like, I don't know if this is true, but this organization thinks that he's making 500,000 per post, and that's like, I mean, people just can't even wrap their heads around it.
The problem with this is also like people will be like, Charlie D'Amelio has 100 million followers on TikTok, so she charges $130,000 per TikTok, and she posts 4 TikToks a day. That means she makes $600,000 a day.
Right.
That's not how it works. You don't
Sure.
get paid for an Instagram post that doesn't have a brand attached to it,
Right.
or you don't get paid for a TikTok that doesn't. Well, now you do because of the Creator Fund, but it's like
Right.
hundreds of dollars as
Right.
opposed to thousands. But like you don't get paid for posts where there's no brand attached to it, and I think people forget that a lot. People are like, he gets paid $400,000 per Instagram post. It's like, well, no, but yeah, I've definitely heard deals like there's like the bigger Instagrammers, obviously, like the Kardashians of the world will definitely get paid like $1 million or $2 million for an Instagram post, but those are very rare.
Mm-hmm.
I think one time
It's a lot for a brand to justify spending $1 million on
For
one
sure.
picture.
Right.
I don't know if I've talked about this now. Tell me if I've talked about this. My favorite deal that I've ever gotten, it was for a little over like $100,000 for some sort of like I had to promote and tweet about this program where people can tweet at the program and it responds to you. It's a robot, but they were making the robot like lifelike, so like anybody can have a conversation with it. And I had like all these posts I had to do for it, like Instagram stories and in-feed posts and tweets about it. But the first day of the program, I did my first post, and I had like 5 more to go. I did my first post, but the program, it learns. So like with more people texting it learns more about pop culture and stuff, whatever.
Okay.
And people were texting like inappropriate words to it. And it started picking up on that, so it started responding with inappropriate words. It started calling everybody like a bitch, a motherfucker, a cunt. And like this was a program made by like a really high-end company. So they shut the entire fucking program down, but they still paid me out the $100,000, which was fucking insane. No, I did one post, which they made me delete too. So it was only up for like 2 hours, and they still had to pay me out for the entire thing because this program just became an asshole. But that's happened before. There was like a deal with like Ninja and Mixer. Did you guys ever read about that deal?
I haven't read about it, but I knew about it.
Yeah, I read about it.
It was like, what was it?
Well, I mean, he just went. They paid him. What was it? Almost
Like 10 million or something, right?
10 million.
No, it was $100 million deal.
What? It was
Yeah.
$100 million deal.
It was like insane to switch over to Mixer and to be like the first creator on Mixer.
So
and
Mixer was like the new Twitch, like the new
Right,
place to
right.
stream. And I think they paid him like $100 million, but then Mixer went under in like a couple months.
Yeah.
And they
I didn't know that.
And they had to pay him out all the money.
Jeez.
And,
Well,
and it was like
my
a multiple
God.
year long deal, but like.
So what, is he back on Twitch now? Like,
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
back on Twitch.
Jesus Christ,
'Cause
that's
he was-
incredible.
Insane.
because he had to be like exclusive to Mixer for
Sure,
something
sure.
like 3 to 5 years or something, thinking that it was
makes
going to be the next streaming platform, and then it just tanked. But they had to deal with him, and so they had to pay him out, and now he's just
We got a deal.
so
We
dope.
pitched a show to Quibi, and they were so excited. They sent us a cake. They're like, we want to buy how many episodes? They're like, we want to buy
like 8
18.
episodes.
No,
Oh.
that was the first cake.
Oh.
They sent us one cake, and it was we want to buy 8 episodes, and then the next one was like cancel the rest of your pitches. We want to buy 18 episodes, and they really wanted it. They wanted to buy so many episodes from us, but I was like, no, Quibi's not the place to be.
Sure.
And I'm so pissed because they went under 2 weeks after. So I was like, if we could have gotten this fucking contract wrapped up,
Yeah.
we could have made like a couple $1 million just because Quibi went under and they would have had to pay us out. But yeah, I think that's such an interesting like thing where like companies still have to pay people out after.
The same thing happened with the podcast too. There was a big offer. and then
Oh
the company went
yeah,
under.
we got a huge deal for the podcast for this podcast.
Really?
Oh, we've talked about this on the podcast. How much was it?
$700,000, I think.
Yeah, which at the time was really
What?
big.
Right.
To have the podcast somewhere else. I don't know where it was. And I said no. I was like, absolutely not. Like I want it on Apple Podcasts. I don't want it to be in a weird place. And that company went under in like 2 weeks, and they had
Oh,
to
man.
and they had to pay out
They
everybody.
paid everybody else.
Sure.
out.
They paid everybody out that was on their
And then
thing.
talked to Dave for 3 weeks.
I was gonna say.
Jay was
Punched
so
him in the face.
pissed because it was $700,000 just for our podcast to air a week earlier on like another
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
and
it
I-
wasn't even exclusive. It was just
No, it was just like a week earlier. No, it wasn't exclusive. I would never do anything exclusive. But yeah, and that happened, and I was like, fuck. I guess we should have done it, but you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, that's really funny. But yeah, that's